Welcome to the Only One Mic podcast called Gerard, Brooklyn Dre. J-Rob is in the building. How you doing, fellas?
Oh, what up, what up?
Good. All right, we ready to rock today. We're going to give our review on Ant-Man Quantumania. Quite the flick. The Church of England is up for discussion on the agenda of God, and also, we are going to discuss this Rihanna picture, on the cover of Vogue British. Yeah, real controversial stuff, man. We got our thoughts on that one. So, fellas, we had the pleasure of, thanks to J-Rob, to experience Marvel's latest offering of Ant-Man Quantumania.
The only way you can experience movies from here on out, man.
And 4DX.
4DX, man.
4DX.
Yeah.
That's what it said.
4DX is like watching a movie on a roller coaster, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I've never experienced a 4DX movie. I haven't been to a movie in a very long time, man. I'm going to keep it a grip with you. I didn't go see Wakanda Forever. I didn't, I missed all that stuff. You know what I mean? But I just said, all right, well, we're going to go. Jay was real hype about it. He was like, yo, you got to do this.
Got to do it. Ain't nothing like it.
Ain't nothing like it. So
I would have loved to see the first Wakanda in that theater, man.
Yeah, the Black Panther joint. But yeah, for what it's worth.
Black Panther's what got me. I saw Black Panther in 4DX and I'm like, I got it.
You never went back.
Never again, yeah.
You never went back.
The funny thing about that is I remember he was telling me about the second Wakanda, and I was like, it's all right. It was all right, man. But that's probably why his experience is totally different, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I watched the joint in some whack movie theater, man. You know what I mean?
Every time that guy, the little Mexican dude came out the water, the joint flew around your ankles, a little water splashed on your face.
Oh, yeah.
4DX is a whole different experience.
Yeah. I was telling somebody about this, a sister about this last night, man. And she was like, I said, yo, man, it's a good experience. And I said, it'd be raining inside. She said, that's it for me.
Yeah.
So I ain't going there and get my hair wet.
It's just a little sprinkle.
Listen, when we walked in the joint, they showing the trailers and whatnot. I didn't think they would start shaking the seats. I thought the dude at the end of the joint was moving around or something.
He had the same problem I had, man, when he didn't fold the seat down. So when we was coming through, he was just bouncing up on top of the joint, but he couldn't get off of it.
It's like you in a low rider or something. About to spill my pretzels, everything. I was like, yo,
Look, I saw y'all with the grub. I didn't even say that to y'all. I'm like, I'm letting them get ahead, see what they're going to do.
Let me tell you something. If
you ain't got a hold on it, it's going.
That too, and if you're a person that got motion sickness or, you have like the sister that was like, yo, she said, I'm going to get my money back. I can't do the seats. But you notice the brother though. I don't know. He ain't moved.
She told the guy that was with him, get up before it start moving again.
Was like, nah. She went pay for another theater. He's like right there. He's like, no,
my man said, he came back. He's like, yo, I'm gonna be right here, man.
Yeah, y'all can sit in the car. I'll be right here.
Yeah, I'll be right here.
Whatever y'all do, I'm be right here. They came back, got their popcorn. My man was sitting there chilling. Like, this is where it's at.
I got to do it again. I got to make some time to do this again.
That's the only way I'm seeing Marvel from here on out.
Man. Yeah. And I wear glasses, man, and even the 3D glasses. It took me at least about, maybe a few minutes into the movie for my eyes to adjust, but it worked out. Needless to say,
that 3D now was incredible.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna.
I got right into it.
It's gonna come a time when we won't even need the glasses for this, man. What, like if they all go VR, where they put that big joint on your face, man.
Because I know they said they was gonna do a lot of that with the sporting events. They're gonna have like a streaming platform for the VR, make you feel like you courtside on the 50 yard.
Whoa. Wow.
Yeah. I think they got them already though.
Yeah, but I don't think they selling them to the public as like a ticket.
Yeah, I thought I saw something where they had them on already. Or like you said, they might the elite probably got them.
But if they do, this is completely off book. But would that be like the death of actually going to the game?
Nah, people still want to go.
You still want to go to the game because of the atmosphere. You can actually feel it, but I don't know. Being able to actually see it from that point of view and still see the people that are there on the sidelines, I think that changes the game.
All right.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get down to business, fellas. What did y'all think about the movie?
I did enjoy it. I'm not gonna act like I'm the biggest Ant-Man fan, but as visually, it was amazing. I thought the story was good, and I thought it was entertaining.
Now, before we go any further, I mean, look, this is just three brothers talking like we would if we was walking down the street together, man. So there will be spoilers on this one. So, you know, if you didn't see the movie, that's on you. You clicked on our face. All right, go ahead. Right. So you said it was visually stunning to you?
Yeah, I thought visually, I thought it was all that. I thought the story was good.
A lot of mixed reviews, though. A lot of mixed reviews. A lot of people.
The people that I spoke to, the real comic book heads, they was loving it. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't say that it was authentic to the comic because I don't know. But from people that I talked to, they said it was a lot of authenticity to it.
Yeah, so a lot of mixed reviews, like online from the so-called big critics, like, oh, well, it's not like the last two Ant-Mans, or this is Marvel's worst movie next to Thor. Let me tell you something. Thor, what was that last Thor?
Thor was bad.
That last Thor, that they did.
Let's just say the last one that was horrible.
Love and Thunder. All right. Terrible movie. Terrible movie.
I didn't even watch that.
Yeah, don't watch that. Don't. You can skip that. You can skip that. But Lord and Thunder.
That Ragnarok, that was all right though.
Yeah, Ragnarok was a jump off.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know what happened after that. I think it got too goofy. But
I think what they was trying to do, man, is you can't make Thor into a joke.
Yeah, you got to put some seriousness into it.
It got to be all serious. You know,
a good balance. A good balance.
They have the good little. You know, all superhero movies got a little joke in there, but Thor's supposed to be a serious joint, man. You know what I mean? That's like, making Wolverine a comedy. It doesn't make any sense.
It don't work.
Ant-Man is the only one that they could do that with. You know what I mean? And they've been successful with
him and Deadpool.
Yeah, Deadpool.
Yeah, they've been. Oh, and what's the other joint? The Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah,
joint.
you can have fun with that. Yeah,
they're actually pretty good too, man.
Yeah.
I started getting into them. Yeah, all right.
Last one coming up soon.
Yeah.
End of it. Yeah, that's the end of it. What did you think about it, Dre? What did you think about the Ant-Man, John?
I thought it was all right, man. It didn't. Don't hate on us, man, because I might mess around. It might not be good for you if you watch it in a regular movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It actually.
I had a different experience. Man.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I enjoyed the movie. I really like it. You know, I'm a Marvel fan and all that. You know, I like to see them joints. And there's a lot to the story that's good. The setting up for Secret Wars, man. Can't wait to see that. But I was sitting there thinking about what else am I going to watch in 4DX, man? You know what I mean? Not that I wasn't taking, I'm not taking away from the movie, but I'm like, at this point, I'm looking at the Creed poster like,
Fast and Furious.
Listen, man, the Fast and Furious is about as goofy as it get, but I'm pretty sure, if you're watching a 4DX, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's all action, man.
All action from here out. Yeah,
John Wick, something crazy.
Yeah.
All action.
It was a point where they was punching the aliens or whatever there was, the little micro monsters or whatever it was. I felt it in my back.
Yeah.
What was that about?
You felt it coming through the chair. Yeah.
I'm like, had a joint with a joint chopped the dude on the shoulder, and you felt a joint coming on your shoulder or something.
Yeah.
Snap, man, that's crazy.
That's crazy, but yeah, I actually enjoyed that, man. It was a good experience. Good way to spend a free rainy morning. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Ant-Man was all right too, man. You know what's funny? I never really got into Ant-Man, man. Then you gave me the code to the Disney joint.
Yeah.
You gave me the code, man. That we shared the code, man. So then I started banging out on it.
What makes it dope with the Disney joints that they give them to you in order, though.
Yeah. That's exactly. I think that's how I caught it too, because I think what happens is, you know how one movie go off and you don't want to get up off the couch or something like that. And it just came back. The next one came back on, and I was like, I kind of binge watched that joint one Saturday, man. I was like, hey, man, ain't bad, man.
Yeah,
Plus, I like to do Paul Rudd, man. I think you're funny. It's Paul Rudd, I think it is.
Yeah, Paul Rudd. Yeah,
Paul Rudd, a funny.
And
funny little guy.
What do y'all think about Jonathan Majors? Well, I can't say debut because he was actually in the Loki series. That's where all of that started. Yeah. So, did
a good job.
I thought he did a good job. I thought he brought that character to life. Yeah. He wasn't joking with the character. It was real serious, as the character is real serious. thought he did a great job.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy about that, man?
Hmm.
He did such a great job. I think he should have been in a more serious joint, like a Wolverine.
But see, that's
Thor or
coming
like
up,
that.
man. I'm putting
He's being introduced.
Put my geek hat on
Character.
for a second. According to this, you know what I mean? Because I know I've comic head, man. You know, I read these joints, but of course it's not the same as the books. But Kang Dynasty comes next, where it's Avengers versus the different Kangs or whatever.
That's what they showed you at the end of the movie.
And then after that, Secret Wars.
Yeah, now when they go there, man, that's what we're talking right there.
Right.
I applaud that, man. We gotta give it up for the Secret Wars.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? So yeah,
that was my comic book love there, man. Avengers versus X-Men and all that other stuff like that, man. Yeah, man.
Secret Wars, man. So that's coming up soon. You know what I mean? So
total X-Men fan, just in case.
The Legacy joints
that's gonna be ill.
Yeah, the Legacy joints is actually on Disney Plus too, man. You can get all the old X-Men joints and all that.
Oh yeah, X-Men. I mean, you could. That's the only reason to watch Disney Plus.
Yeah,
that's the only reason to have it.
Yeah,
for Marvel.
Yeah, Marvel. Yeah,
man, I ain't no other reason to have Disney Plus.
The X-Men cartoon was serious. If you watched the ones in the 90s. Yeah,
I don't really remember.
I haven't
I'm telling you, watch that, man. It was, you can watch that as an adult, man, and it's like this stuff was way too advanced for kids, man.
Word.
You know, they had an episode. I was telling Dre about this, man. They had an episode when Nightcrawler was talking about being a Christian, man.
Oh yeah.
He was explaining his faith to Wolverine. I kid you not.
Yeah. I kind of.
I think he convinced Wolverine at the end, if I remember correct. I think he persuaded him. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. You gotta look it up. Look it up. If y'all, you know what?
I do.
If not, I'm pretty sure there's a segment of it on YouTube. If you know, for the fans.
Yeah, let me tell you something. Some
deep stuff on.
I missed that joint, man. I guess, man, I probably was out. You younger than me, so I was probably out doing something different at that time.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something, man. I remember my joint was what was it, the Legion of Doom joint, Super Friends, and all of them joints like that, man. That's where I got off with the comic book cartoons or whatever like that, man. But those are my joints, though. Legion of Doom. I think it was the Super Friends, wasn't it?
Superman and
Super
Justice League.
Yeah, Challenge of the Super Friends.
Justice League, yeah, all that joint, man. Yeah, that's where I got off. With the cartoons, man. Yeah, I got off right there.
The movies ain't that great. But yeah, man. So we got so many different things we can go at today.
Oh, you said the brother too, man. That brother would have probably deserved an Oscar, man. He was overacting, man. Not overacting, but I mean the brother you were just talking about.
Jonathan Major.
Yeah,
I thought he did. I thought he brought the character to life, man.
I honestly think that this is not even the best he's going to do.
But that's what I was saying, man. When I didn't want to say overacting. I wanted to say like he seemed like he was too good. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He seemed like he's too good.
He's a real actor.
Yeah, like somebody put Marlon Brando in Soul Plane or something.
You know what, too? I got to call y'all out on something too, man. I got to call y'all out on something too, because y'all didn't believe me yesterday, man. In my research, there was a second post-credit scene.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what's crazy? I was laughing. I was like, man, Mike ran back in there. You know what I'm saying? He was like, no, I think I hear him talking.
Oh, something else in there?
Yeah, it's a second post-credit scene, man.
Oh, yeah. I didn't think normally they only do one.
Yeah, it was two of them.
Oh,
but, yeah.
What was the second one about?
It set up Loki. They found him. They found another version of him, but that's Loki found him.
Loki found who?
Found another version of Kang.
Yeah.
I'm spoiling this for y'all. Another version. Yeah, you got a show on Disney Plus. That's when you first seen Kang was in that. Yeah, it sets up on that.
I never watched the Loki joint yet.
Yeah, Loki it was decent. But anyway, let's move on to reality, y'all. I'm gonna touch a good little pause from reality for a second. All right, so I kind of held this story to see if anybody was actually picking up on it, but nobody did. So this is coming from NPR. It says the Church of England says gender neutral terms for God are up for discussion. This is the stupidest thing I have ever heard of in my life. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't even know what else to say, but it's dumb. I'm going to go ahead and play a segment from that NPR clip.
Just so dumb, it might be cut and dry.
It's going to be very cut and dry. It's going to be very cut and dry because this is just another way to kind of mold to fit the agenda. But check this out. This is coming from NPR.
Why is God so often referred to as a he? That's been a debate among many worshipers who speak gendered languages like English. Now, the Church of England is considering whether to use gender-neutral terms for God. A spokesperson for the church says that Christians have recognized that God is neither male nor female since ancient times. Yi Jan Lin is an associate professor who studies the New Testament at Yale Divinity School.
There is also the Christian understanding that God is transcendent of human ideas. And so this understands God as beyond human complete understanding of who God is and what God is.
She says the terms father and he are commonly used when referring to God because of the culture we live in.
That is just the history of patriarchal society through almost all of history. And so that has just been a part of human constructions of God, which has been dominated by masculine power.
In the coming months, the Church of England plans to launch a new project studying the issue of gendered language. Reverend Amy Peeler, the author of Women and the Gender of God, says she is not surprised.
It has risen to the front of the list of things that need to be addressed given the cultural moment.
Church of England currently has no plans to drop the use of male pronouns for God, but some Christians are already using gender-neutral terms for God. Joseph Newton is a 24-year-old non-binary theology student.
I struggle to understand how people want to believe in a God who is exclusive as opposed to inclusive.
Newton says no matter what terms we use, God will still be God.
I got a big question because that person was supposed to be non-binary, but they identified their pronoun with the I.
Yeah.
I'm confused now. I thought they didn't use that.
Jay, none of it makes sense.
Yeah, man.
None of it makes sense.
Just saying. I mean, I'm trying to follow this thing, you know.
Hey, but I'll tell you
trying
this.
to be progressive with my thinking, but
This non-binary thing is like the Marshawn Lynch of the LGBTQ community. They're coming strong, man, with the non-binary. Like it's non-binary is jumping over everything, man.
It's
like a beast in itself, man.
This whole discussion is just so.
But you know the crazy thing about it, I'll leave it at this, man. I think this is so simple, man. The Nation of Islam has a term, man. The nation. We put the Quran on a high shelf. I think this is what a lot of you guys are doing wrong, man. You know, this is the way the nation is able to defend themselves. I'm not saying that they're right. I don't agree with them. I believe that there's true Islam, and I believe there's a Nation of Islam. You know what I mean? But at least the nation was smart enough to say, hey, man, we got this thing on a high shelf. That way, when you call us out on anything that you want to ask us about, we can just say, listen, we don't believe in that. You know what I mean? We got our own thing, man. You know what I mean? I'm going to go ahead and say this. Why don't you just create your own religion?
Yeah,
man?
and if you're going to do that, because what happens is...
I don't agree with you. I think...
Yeah, I don't agree with it either.
My personal religious belief I believe you're going to go somewhere else when this thing is all over, but make your own Bible. Do your own thing.
Yeah, because what it sounds like, honestly, is that when you listen to this, is that it's almost like I'm just twisting it to fit the agenda. All right, well, I'll put it to you like this. What is the difference really between that and, you know, if you want to go back to slavery times, the way that slave owners twisted the Bible to fit their needs?
You know what's crazy? It's so stupid because she just said something like, she said culturally, you know, this is the reason why we refer to God as a he and everything like that. It's culture. She said it's culturally. Nah, it's actual doctrine. It's a book that, you know, says that, this is what we believe in. And I think the thing is so stupid. It's like, you know, like they're trying, like, it's almost like trying to come into the Ku Klux Klan and make it into like, you know, like the Black Panther Party or something like that. Mm-hmm. They got their own thing, man. Like Christians have their own thing. There's their own Bible, their own doctrine. You just can't come in and change what it is, man. You know, like I don't plan on going into a mosque and having them change, you know, do baptism and all the other stuff like that. It's not there. It's not there. You know what I
mean? When I was a child, I really took the history, and they taught me about the Puritans and the the Pilgrims and all the people and all the wars that was fought, and they all was basically fought because they had a disagreement and a difference in what they believe and who they thought God was. And because you thought that God was how you thought God was, you worship over here and we worship over here. All this new stuff where they just decided that, we're gonna take what, you believe in and we're gonna change it and tell you that you gotta believe in it too. Like it's just weird to me. I don't really that takes away from what the essence of whatever that thing is, because if once you start changing it, it's no longer the same.
Yeah.
And you know what's the crazy part about this too, man? They never do this to Islam. You know what I mean? Like,
they won't.
Yeah, they never do this to Islam, man. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. The nation did what they did, and they dance around whatever. But they never walk into to a mosque and say, "Hey, we want to convert this into their agenda or whatever."
Like even in like Abu Dhabi and all that, Saudi Arabia, women still can't just be walking around and they gotta have their hair covered.
Right?
They can't. They gotta be modest. Like, you can't just go over there and be like, yeah, I'm rocking this the way I'm gonna carry it. Like, they're not going for it because they have a specific rules that makes them them. So I don't really get how you people continue to want to take, your belief. You can believe whatever you want, but because you do believe that means that you're not this.
Right.
By strict definition.
Yeah. If you say that you are knowingly going against the rules of this particular scripture, or then that's not you. You're not supposed to be in this. Right. You know what I mean? You can't change it. You know what I mean? The Bible, it's a song. You can't change it. It's the word of God.
It's the word of God. Yeah, it's the word of God.
It's the word of God, man. That's it, man. You can't change it.
And I found this statement interesting too. From reading the transcript, the associate professor of New Testament at Yale Divinity School said in this particular one that we just listened to, that is just the history of patriarchal society throughout almost all of history. And so that has just been a part of human construction of God, which has been dominated by masculine power.
Yeah, man.
So where's the agenda? Is it just to kind of diminish? Because, really, you know what I mean?
Like I told you,
masculine power.
I'm gonna help them all out right now, man. And I don't agree with what I'm saying to you, but maybe this might make it easier for you. Stop trying to force yourself into a Christian church and make your own thing.
Change, yeah. Stop going in there.
I'm not saying this going. I don't believe that this is going to be good for you. I'm not. You know what I'm saying? It just don't make no. It makes no sense.
Well, it's dangerous because this frame of thinking will start spreading. And the funny part is, and the little research that I did on the Church of England, like you said, Jay, they follow like the way the Pilgrims did, which means they supposedly follow the Bible to the letter. So why is this even up for discussion?
And I tell you something else too. I think this might be, just for me personally, go to show you that there's some real truth in that Bible, right? Out of nothing, you could take all the books they got in the world, right? All the different religions they got in the world. Everybody tried so hard to change that Bible. You know what I mean? You don't hear nobody trying to change the Quran. You don't hear nobody trying to change, Buddha, all these other different Indian religions or whatever. But for some reason, you know what I mean? Everywhere you go, somebody trying to put trying to Rubik's Cube this Bible into something else, man. But that's my personal opinion. But again, don't try to force yourself in there, man. Go ahead and start your own thing, man. That way you can make it make sense, man. Because what you're gonna do is you're gonna continue to come out here. You're gonna continue to say things that are stupid, like trying to say that it was culturally. God is saying that he's a he. No, it's in the scriptures that he refers himself to as a he.
What it seems to me like is that they trying to twist this thing to kind of say basically this is man's dominance
No, this is what they're saying.
Female. But you know what I mean? I could be just thinking crazy, but
this is a society's opinion.
Right.
This ain't our opinion. This is our religious rule.
Now, all of this, and you know what's funny about this, guys, man? This is actually a good segue to the next topic, because it's just the way to just kind of always chop down masculinity. I mean, this is the Bible, you know, and all, but it's the terms that they're using in this interview. If you read the transcript, and I suggest everybody go back and look at this. It's NPR. Church of England says gender neutral terms for God are up for discussion. Read it for yourself. Listen to it. Listen to the words. Don't just listen to, you know, people just babbling. Break this down, because what it is, it seems like they're just using it as another way to just say, look, man, men are being dominant, and this is another way to kind of chop this thing down. So, all right. Refocus.
Hey, listen, let me just let me say, God, please forgive me. I'm not trying to tell nobody start their own religion. I'm just saying that it's so dumb to try to force yourself on something.
Right.
Like, you know, it's so many organizations in this world that I totally don't agree with, you know, most of their ideology or whatever the case may be. But I'm not going to walk in there and try to change their, you know, the Church of Satan. Imagine me going into the Church of Satan and trying to, you know, change them into Christians. It's about the stupidest thing possible. I could talk to a person that might be into it and say, hey, man, this is what I believe, and hopefully you, whatever. But I'm not going to join the church, you know what I mean, and then try to tell y'all got to do baptism.
It's like somebody trying to make change from the inside. Like, you get in and it's like, I'm going to try to change it, but they falling for it, and it's crazy in itself. You know what I mean? So it's dumb, but it transitions into the next topic, which is, you know, Rihanna's Vogue British cover. In fact, guys, I mean, for the sake of this, I mean, I can't show, you know, because it's radio, but we can look at it.
I like to refer to Rihanna as the queen of toxic femininity. That's what I refer to it.
So we're gonna take a look at this picture on our end, folks. Y'all can pull up this Vogue British cover yourself and follow along if you like. All right, so we're looking at this picture and we see Rihanna and, you know, her husband behind her. What's that, A$AP Rocky, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, A$AP Rocky. I want to make sure I'm correct. And they have the baby, and she's basically look like she's leading him, and he's following. So
she looks masculine and he looks feminine.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, little arch in his back. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the brother loving his family. There's nothing wrong with that. But, you know, she's leading him and he's following.
This is true.
You know,
the optics, folks. You know what I mean? When they put this stuff out, the optics is bad. It might look cute to, you know, oh, well, you know, she's Rihanna. He's A$AP Rocky, but it's the optics that looks bad, y'all. So what's your thoughts on this?
Go ahead, Dre.
My first thought on this, man, is that you can never get any other race to do anything like this. And I've never seen a white man walking behind a white woman on the cover of a magazine, Arab, Russian.
Any nationality besides.
Any nationality, man. It just doesn't make any sense. And, you know, I've actually had a discussion on Facebook about this cover, and, you know, women on there telling me like, oh, what's wrong with a man doing this and whatever. Hey, listen, man, if you want to take this picture and put it in your own house, in your picture book or something like that, hey, great for you. But when you put this on the cover of a magazine, you know what I mean, especially with images and stuff like that, man, these images are powerful, man.
That's how you learn.
These images are powerful, man.
It's the number one way that the human mind learns is through images.
Yeah, it's powerful, man. It doesn't make it looks weak, you know what I mean, for a black man. And I was trying to explain to this woman on Facebook, man, is that all of our images now of black men now are weak.
Yeah, something that's emasculating, excuse me.
Yeah, either we're, you know, we can talk too crazy and disrespect it through like these love and hip hop stuff. Watching Jada and Will, you know, every time you see one of these commercials, it's brothers kissing and, you know, whatever the case may be. Then you have, just all these images that you see of these stars and stuff like that. You got, what's the guy named that goes to the Grammys and he got on the dress and everything like that.
That performed and he did the oh, you talking about not the Grand, you talking about
the dude that played like in Cinderella or something.
Billy Porter. Billy Porter.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I mean, this is crazy. And hey, listen, man, I don't agree with, we already know what I don't agree with, but I would say this, man. Why is it like, it seems like this toxic, media, stuff that they're forcing it's like heavily on black men, man.
It is. And the reason why I'm gonna say this again is that we're the only men who are not supposed to be ourselves. We're not supposed to see the world through a black man's view. We're not supposed to be aggressive in our nature. We're not supposed to be able to be ourselves. We're not supposed to have our own thoughts.
Yeah.
They want us to look at the world through some other scope, whether it be Eurocentric or whatever. But every other person in society can stand on how they feel and their views. You would never ever see a person of let's say Asian descent take a picture like this. Never. They wouldn't allow it. You wouldn't see a man from what they call the Middle East, Saudi Arabia, Iran, Iraq, any of those type of places.
Yeah, and then you know what a idiot will do? They'll find one picture of something like on the internet, and they'll say, "Oh, look, this is what this is a man doing it from another whatever." No, but this is Vogue magazine. This is a huge magazine. You know what I mean? This is something big, man. This is cultural, man. This is something that we're probably going to look at 30 years down the line, and they'll be looking at this as a picture. You know, man. This is it's not even like a real picture at this point. It's like an art. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that the better thing to do, and I'm not a photographer at all, or anything of that nature, but why not have had them together as a family?
Walking side by side,
side by side, or kissing the baby together. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's all about the imagery, and again, this is in my opinion, and I'm sure we all feel the same way. This is the emasculation of the black male. This is what they want you to see.
Well, you know what?
This is what they're selling to you.
Judge Joe Brown actually said this on his platform with Dana the other day, is that even she's from the islands, right? And he was saying even in the islands they don't play that game.
Yeah.
This is Judge Joe Brown said this. He said, "Yo, like even in the islands they don't play that game." So it's like, for them to actually do that. So, Dana's whole thing was, well, A$AP Rocky from Harlem. He's like, yeah, but still, you know what I mean?
You ought to know better.
You ought to know better. It doesn't matter if he's from the islands or not.
And you know what ticks me off about this? We as black people, especially like having this conversation on Facebook the other day, we walk around with this, other, well, I say not me, but not you guys. People walk around clueless as if like this was just some snapshot.
Yeah.
It's just a nice picture. We just put it out.
Or we're thinking we're putting too much into it. It ain't that deep. Like, come on, man.
They thought about this.
Yeah.
They thought about it. The people that took the picture thought about it. And you know what I mean? And this is sad because it actually, for him as an artist and a man or whatever the case may be, and I don't really like none of this music too much no more. You know what I mean? But the sad part about it is that this is how his situation has already been portrayed. She's the leader, he should listen to everything she say because she got more money than him, and all this other stupid garbage. You know what I mean?
See, so, that's the problem, right? You take a situation where a woman, if she makes more money than you still supposed to be the man, no matter what. That doesn't change. You're the woman. That's what it is. Regardless of what the economic structure is in the household, a man always has to be a man.
He has to be a man. And it's just when you look at this stuff, man, like all of these pictures, man, that you look at. And like even I was telling y'all before when I was watching these movies and stuff like that, like Wakanda and what's the other thing we watch? Woman King and all the other stuff like that. And I understand some of the history behind some of the movies and all the other stuff like that, but it's like, I thought that was a little crazy. Even though I like some of the movies and stuff like that, it's like you're sitting there watching this, like you would never see a Russian superhero, where the women are in charge of everything. You know what I mean? You would never see like, different cultures where the women are like considered the best warriors in these movies.
I'm gonna say this. Supposedly, the story of Wonder Woman is based off of a warrior tribe.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That they were supposed to be very fierce warriors. So we have, through history, there have been women warriors, great women warriors. I take nothing.
So Wonder Woman, you mean Woman King?
Nah, Wonder Woman.
What was it? What was the movie?
The movie was Woman King.
Woman King. Okay.
I'm saying the story of Wonder Woman is based off a tribe of warriors.
Right.
And it's an African tribe, actually. Before you get in that, it was actually African tribe, where pretty much all of this, the Dora Milaje is based on that. The Woman King definitely based on that. And then you have, we've had, throughout history, women who've actually fought.
Yes, I'm not taking anything away from them great female warriors.
Mm-hmm.
Only thing that I'm saying is that no matter how great of a warrior you are, you're still a female.
You're still a female.
And we should keep that and understand that doesn't make you any less or any more. It just makes you a woman as you were intended to be. And as a man, I love that.
Well, even in like I say, like a movie like Wonder Woman or whatever the case may be, we as kids knew, with the whole Wonder Woman thing, like, because of the Justice League and, the whole thing that they had put together with that, Superman was the guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? Wonder Woman you could make as many woman movies as you wanted about Wonder Woman. We all knew Superman was the head of the ship.
Right.
You know what I mean? So they always, they make sure in other cultures that they make sure that they keep things in line. You know what I mean? In our culture, man, when we sit there and watch this stuff, and we can say this is harmless. People look at this conversation and say, yo, we getting into some conscious community, weirdo garbage or whatever like that. But this is put to kids.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And that's how they push stuff. You know what I mean? People don't understand. That's just how, like, they don't understand how Hollywood and media is put together to push stuff. Like when we want to go to war with people, then you'll start seeing movies about whatever country we don't like at that point, or the government don't like at that time.
They gotta throw in the propaganda to get the temperature of the people.
Like in the '80s, every movie villain was darn near Russian.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Even from what I understand in Germany, before Hitler did his thing when he started putting Jews in oven and stuff.
Yeah,
like that.
they was dropping the propaganda material out the plays, out the blimps.
So when you start sitting here and you get on these, I was talking to a bunch of people because it was a post on Facebook that I had commented on, and the people jump on it or whatever like that. And I'm saying to them like, yo, this is just not like it's not simple. This wasn't done by accident.
Right.
You know what I mean? People are doing this with some sort of plan already put together.
Yeah,
you know
nobody never does anything unintentional. When it's some type of publication, whether it be a book or editorial, anything, it always has a purpose. And what is that purpose? When we see this type of stuff, we supposed to be angry about it.
Yeah.
We supposed to bring this to light and say, yo, no, this ain't right.
Right.
Know what I'm saying? And it actually hurts me that it's so many of us out there
that's cool with it.
Yeah, the male and female, that's like, yo, y'all looking too much into it. It ain't that deep. No, it is that deep. Because this stuff affects the children. Not only do it affect the children, it affects young men who still trying to find themselves and their purpose, and they see this crap and they like, oh well, they just go along with it or whatever the case
may be. Give me a successful woman, I'll be all right. I don't need to do
like
much.
Nah, like that's not what it is.
Like you said in one of the exchanges you had yesterday, Dre, you said somebody actually threw Stedman out there. Oprah's
yeah.
And,
I'm having a go ahead. I'm sorry.
And I was going to say, because when he told me that, and the person was using Stedman as an example, I'm like, name one thing that Stedman has done that's notable.
Well, I even talked to the sister and I say, that's a horrible example.
Very much.
That's a horrible example. She was like, well, Stedman, so many words, her response to me was like, Stedman's getting the bag and all of y'all looking crazy or whatever like that. Let me tell you something. I would never take the bag Stedman took. Never. I would never sit in some woman's house and play like a lap dog, you know what I mean, for, you know, and for millions of dollars, man. There's nothing you could get me to. I'm like, you know how you walk into a situation, you know, in back in the days, you walked into a situation with a female or whatever the case may be,
Right.
and you knew off the bat, this ain't gonna work. She hard-headed, she ain't gonna listen. I gotta go my own way. You know what I mean? And that's just what it is, man. You know what I mean? And maybe she'll work for somebody else. It just ain't for me. You know what I mean? And I don't care what bag is involved. How much sense does it make? You know what I mean? For you to sit in somebody's guest house. You know what I mean? You don't got no say so in nothing, and you call yourself a man, and then you're gonna use this as an example of, you know, of a man. Me personally, I don't know Stedman. I don't know what he does. Yeah. I can tell you his. I even told his sister. I said, the guy's name is synonymous with a joke.
Right.
You know what I mean? And she was like, everybody joking about him, but he's joking right to the bank. Yeah, but at what point? I said, then you might as well almost say it's cool to be a prostitute or something like that. You know what I mean?
But that's another thing. See what she just said. He's laughing all the way to a bank. What does that even mean? Does that mean that he has integrity about a situation? No, because he doesn't have any. I'd rather be a man and stand on principles, and I stand for what I say, and I mean that. Like, yo, there's no way in the world that, you know, he should be a man should just be taking that.
Now, just off book, they said that Stedman Graham's net worth is actually supposed to be $10 million. But he's best known. But he's best known for being Oprah's long-term partner. So he's a successful businessman and all that is what he's saying. But you're only just known for being Oprah's
partner.
Yeah.
Even in that is emasculating. Not her man, her long-term boyfriend. This is her partner. That is crazy.
But it's sad, man, because again, like I said, man, all of these things that you see, man, the Billy Porters, these pictures, these images, what we're talking about right here, what we was talking about, right? What was about the other actor that you guys brought up?
Yeah, Jonathan Majors. You know, shout out to Jonathan Majors. He's a good dude, man. I like his movies. I'm not feeling that Ebony cover. You know what I mean?
You know me, man. Once you do something like that, slowly deteriorate out of my can't get good after a while. Well, I can't say can't get good, but you like.
Well, you know what? He's hot now, and you got to nip it in the bud. Why? At one point, remember 50 took a 50 Cent, man. He
he never had a dress on.
No, he never had a dress on, but he did do a cover shoot, and he had like a scarf on or whatever. I think Star had called him out on it. You know what I mean? Y'all can look it up. I would
say anything.
But 50 stopped it. 50 stopped it. You know, right there after that. Star called him. You never seen him do it again.
You know what's funny about that? A woman. The other matter of fact, I apologize. A man. The funny thing is about this discussion and this conversation is that I had it on Facebook with this guy. Right? I thought he was a woman because his name was a female, and what he jotted to me or what he's texted me was something that I thought was a female. I had to go back when I looked at his face. I was like, yo, bro, I'm sorry to call you a female, but this is what it looked like to me. And the way he was talking to me, I thought he was a female, you know? He actually put up a picture of Tupac, you know, with his shirt off or something like that, you know, and the picture looked like it was photoshopped or whatever like that. I was like, first of all, I believe it's a Photoshop picture. And what so many words, what he was trying to say to me is that Tupac took a suspect picture too, or whatever the case may be, right? So I said, first of all, I believe the picture is Photoshop because it don't look like something that I've ever seen before. And you can see from the picture it's all danced around or whatever the case may be, right? Then he was like, I guess he was trying to say that that's equivalent to what's going on here or whatever the case may be. And I'm like, nah, man. What we do know about hip hop is sex sells. I'm not saying that it's right. It's sex sells. That's just what it is. Probably every man that's a LL done it. How many rappers that we know done did this? You know, took off their shirt to take a picture and whatever the case may be. So,
yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying that it's right. It's always been a little weird to me, but
here you go.
Yeah, that dude
Yep.
look a little weird.
Yeah. Look at Will Smith. Yep. See, 50 Cent, Will Smith.
Will don't look crazy.
Ah.
Puff don't look crazy, man.
No. I mean, but you know, just to
fifth picture look a little crazy, but
just to give you some context,
that don't.
You know what I mean?
That don't look crazy. Not like what we dealing with now. You know what I mean?
You know, we got to take in consideration as well that, you know, these guys are getting dressed by the boys. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I mean, they the ones that kind of dictating what this fashion is. That's why I'm glad that the brothers stopped it right after that. Like, if you can pull up all the stuff, and this ain't about him, but it's just in general. You know what I mean?
Again, man, that's. I chalk that up to sex sales. They're trying to sell records. This is what they do. I'm not saying that it's right. I live a different life now, so I don't believe nobody should take off their clothes to sell nothing. You know what I mean? But Rihanna's not the greatest singer in the world. You know what I mean? Rihanna sells because she's somewhat good, and because what she looks like. You know what I mean? I could think of a million singers that sing much better than Rihanna. You know what I mean? Absolutely. You know, so
Stephen A. says she ain't no Beyonce.
Yeah, I don't believe she sings better than Beyonce.
But you know what? You know, he had to retract that statement for one reason or the next.
Did he?
Yep.
He's scared of the BI. Yeah, Chuck, man.
Yeah. he tried to dust him. He apologized.
Yeah, man. He's scared of the BI, man.
Got him a ball for that.
Got him a ball for him, man. But yeah, man. Again, man, it's. You know, it's all of this stuff, man. It really, like Jay said earlier, man, it breaks my heart, man, that we got to argue with black people about this.
Yeah, they act like that it doesn't happen. That the things that's going on doesn't happen, and that's the scary part when you actually trying to have a conversation with a person. And I'm not trying to enlighten nobody. I'm just trying to exchange ideas. And when I put it out there, you know how I feel, they act like, oh, nah, you just taking it too serious, or that's not really what's going on. It's like, come on, are you blind or deaf or dumb?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you got to be one, because it's no way that you can actually think, based off the history of this country, history of the world, that anything is being done just haphazardly.
Yeah. And you can, and the sad part about it is, I remember when we was kids and we was getting a lot of this information, right? And we had to go to, like you said, what a fight to get this information, man. You had to be in Harlem somewhere getting one of these books. Word. You know what I mean? You had to be in a library somewhere. You know, you had to go and what's that stuff they used to do with the newspapers where you go through the photo scanning and all the other stuff
microfiche.
Like that. Yeah, you had to do all of this stuff. This information is readily available for you on the internet right now, man. You know what I mean? Whereas you can look up and see how propaganda actually has been used to cause wars. Right. It's been used to destroy races of people. You know what I mean? And it's used for a reason, man. And the fact that they're doing this with the children, man, they're attacking the kids because in the minds of the kids is where everything will move quicker.
And then even a correlation with the story that we just did about the Church of England, man. It's like it's a war on masculinity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
As a whole,
but it's like,
but definitely on black men.
Black masculinity.
But my ideology on that, and I'm not saying that I believe it, you know what I mean? But I believe that the world kind of looks at the black man as like the most masculine. You know what I mean? I hate to say it like that. I don't believe it's that way.
It is what it is.
I believe that's how they look at it.
That's true.
And so I think when they do these things, it's like, well, if we can get them to do this, then everybody else will fall in line. You know what I mean? I think that's how it's.
Let me ask you a question before we close this particular topic out. Now, I know you said you was getting a lot of blowback, you know, from black people in this regard. You know, you hear a lot of people say that, you know, maybe we thinking too deep on it or whatever. And I'm pretty sure we'll get comments in this particular episode as well. Do you think that on the part of our people, this is a willful ignorance, or you just really don't know?
I think it's willful ignorance, because we tend to idolize the people with the bag, and the people that have the bag is looking like this. So they tend to think that this is it. And for real, I really blame black women. Because if a black woman would tell a black man, nah, that ain't it, then I think things would change.
You know, I had to say shout out to the sisters, man, because there's a lot, believe it or not, on that same post, like a lot of sisters didn't, well, they'll say something like, you know, you're right. Yeah, this don't make sense, or whatever the case may be. And then they'll like the comment that I put or something like that, right? But you got to give credit to those sisters that are going the right way. You know what I mean? That recognize the foolishness or whatever the case may be. But like you said, man, it's just like the rest of the sisters. I'm like, y'all promote this stuff and it's absolutely ridiculous, man.
They rocking with it. The biggest friend to homosexuals statistically is black women.
Black women, man. A lot of black women, man. Or at least from my experience, I noticed that when, you know, it's weird because if you could put up a topic right now and talk about critical race theory, right? Now, not too many sisters gonna get on here and, you know, fight for critical race theory.
And debate that.
But if you put on here right now, like, you know, man, I don't go along with this photo right here and this, you know, the emasculation of black men or whatever the case may be. Oh, you're gonna get an argument on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know,
most of these chicks don't even know what critical race theory is.
I'm a wrap it on this particular topic, but what you just said kind of sparked something in me because to Nisha Arnold, Pam from Martin, you know what I mean? She had made a post about something like that, and everybody was trying to get on it, like, you know, why y'all, you know, supporting, you know, the feminization of black men. This was some time ago. And she caught a lot of flack for it. So, you know, like you said, you got to give shout outs to the sisters and all that are actually speaking out against this. Because at the end of the day, that's the future. You know what I mean? You're dealing with, you know, these women got to raise sons and things like that. You know what I mean?
There are still some principled people out there who stand on principles and integrity. And then there's the other people who their opinion goes with whoever got the money. Yeah. And that's the sad state of society.
It really is. It really is. So, yo, before we wrap, it'd be remiss of me not to mention this on, I think it was the 14th. I'm sorry, the 12th, February 12th. Dove from De La Soul, David Jude Jacor, I believe I'm pronouncing his name correctly. Hopefully I am. David Jude Jacor, also known as Dove. Plug 2 from De La Soul. These guys been rocking since 1989.
Right.
Since
Me, myself, and I.
Yeah, listen, man. These guys' music has been the soundtrack of a lot of people's young lives, man. And you know, he passed away at the age of 54.
But you know what? Normally, you know, now because our lives have changed, I ain't giving too much credit to no much rappers, whatever like that. But I think me and J-Rob was talking about this the other day, man. Like, a lot of these rappers made us go to books, man.
Yeah.
Made us read something, man. And those were some of the guys that, you know, made you pick up a book and and look at something, you know what I mean? So even you know, I was telling them before, like, you know, the one edge that we have in like the inner cities is that, you know, different from like these rural areas like where we live at right now, it's like, you know, I don't think like we knew who El Hajj Malik Shabazz was. Mm-hmm. And we knew who, you know, like Black Wall Street. We knew a lot of things going on because we, you know, some of the teachers in the city would hit you off with some information or something like that. You know what I mean? And then they would have like different things that they would do in school to spark you and you go learn about it, whatever like that. But a lot of stuff we learned, to be honest with you, from listening to
music,
listening to hip hop back then. Like, it's sad because, you know, like just with anything, everything starts out with some sort of good idea, good intentions, and then now it turns into like what you have as far as like hip hop music now. Like, you know, it's like no information in there.
It definitely ain't no Public Enemies out there.
No. And it also made me think, like, and looking at his passing, is that when we look at our generation, because we all of a certain age at this point, like our generation of artists are dying from health issues, which, you know, is what we gotta, you know, understand too, is that these guys are on the road, they're not eating right, things like this happen, you know what I mean? But it's more or less that you see our generation dying off from like health issues or things they didn't catch in time. This generation is dying from being shot or shooting themselves or petty beefs. You know what I mean? But
I get them this. They are health conscious.
They're health conscious. Listen, you health conscious. You just saying life conscious.
Going to the gym and everything.
Look,
you're not life conscious. There's a difference.
See the way these little dudes dance? These little dudes dance for an hour and a half, man. Yeah, jumping around, spinning, and kicking. Like, yeah, man. That's a whole workout right there.
Yeah, it was funny.
But they also Jay might be on that dog food too. You be dancing and kicking too if you was on the scrap. You know what I mean?
Man. But like how I think about it when we was kids, man, we didn't really, we ain't go to no gym like that. Like these guys got gym memberships and stuff like that now.
But listen,
we played ball. We was playing ball.
We was playing ball. You played tags. You ran. You did things. You know what I mean? Yeah. And this stuff was from like elementary up. You probably stop playing ball in your 20s and 30s, depending on what you was doing. You know what I mean?
The closest we got to go in the gym is doing corner push-ups or doing pull-ups on them stoplights.
Slap boxing, all type of stuff.
Hitting the monkey bar. Yeah, like it's wild, man. Because I see my little nephew. He be doing the little moves, and I'll be like, "Yo, it's so weird. Y'all dances is so weird, but you got to be in shape to do that. Like that ain't no. I'm not in shape move."
Well, listen. Now that you mention it, they said that Michael Jackson was like. He was in like peak physical condition. Those uniforms he used to wear on stage, like dressed like Captain Crunch. The joints was the joints was huge. It took a lot for him to dance in those particular outfits. So they said he was actually a pretty strong guy, man.
Yeah, they got it.
Like was a $110 soaking wet, man. I don't know how strong you can be, man.
Look, man, dancers are just genuinely strong people, man. Like ballet dances and stuff. Like you gotta support your body weight on your toe, man. You know how hard that is.
Yeah, right.
Man. But anyway, we gonna wrap this up though, man. But it was definitely good to get back in the fray, fellas. You know what I mean? So definitely good to do that. So till we meet again, guys. Any parting thoughts on any of these topics?
I'm taking these stupid pictures.
Yeah, please, guys. Stop the.
Hey,
be conscious of what
have some integrity about yourself. Stand up for what you believe in. You know what I'm saying? And don't let nobody take you off of your thought.
Yep. And in mine, I say, Jonathan Majors, don't let them get you, brother. The Only One Mic podcast is available on all major platforms that you stream your podcast on. Stop, man. I like Kane. Also, check out our Only One Mic podcast YouTube channel to catch up on the past and current episodes. And please don't forget to rate the show and subscribe. And if you'd like to get in contact with us, we're on Instagram and Twitter at The Only One Mic P1, Facebook and LinkedIn at The Only One Mic Podcast, and you can email us at theonlyonemic00@gmail.com. Also, check us out on Audible, y'all. I got to keep mentioning that we are on Audible if you have an Audible account. We thank you once again for your time. Thanks again, gentlemen. We encourage you to speak your truth quietly and clearly and listen to others, even the dull and the ignorant, because they too have their story to tell. So until next time, please, please, please keep in mind, we never had to run from the Ku Klux Klan, so we shouldn't have to run from a black man. Peace.
Peace. R.I.P. Plug 2.